possibilities to have like way more things in store than we could have imagined. Like something like I will build decks after the review, but let's first have some fun reviewing the rest of the cards. Next up, Demon Hunter. First up, we have 6 mana, 5/7 Fell Scale, Evoker, Battlecry. If you've cast 3 spells while holding the summon a different demon from your deck. It doesn't have a rush or anything. Why do I care? Can somebody tell me why I care? I mean, I know this summons like Zilak if I haven't drawn Zilak, but if I've drawn Zilak, I'm like sad. The 9 mana, the expensive demons are just not useful, I feel. I feel like, why do I care? Why would I want this in my deck? Big Demon Hunter's always been a meme. Like, there's always a card for it, and you're always just like, you evaluate it, and then you're like, yeah, this looks good, but the deck's unplayable, and then you move on with your life. That's just always how Big Demon Hunter has been for as long as Big Demon Hunter has existed. You always just decide that it looks cool, and then you move on with your life. I mean, the only demon that you ever really want to cheat out in Demon Hunter is Zilak. It's always only been Zilak. But whatever, let's move on. I don't care. 1 mana, 1/2 weapon, death battle, add a random outcast card to your hand. Let's check outcast cards one more time, but I don't think this card's useful. Outcast. Don't care. This is good. Don't care. Well, no, this doesn't work. Could get this, could get this. Could get a Fellerin. This is terrible. It's fine. I don't know. It's just I feel like Outcast Demon Hunter isn't the thing, and this is just gonna be the better weapon in my aggro deck. Any objections to what I just said? Outcast Demon Hunter isn't a thing, and this is the better weapon. Alright, let's move on. Let's move on with the card discussion. Not every card has to be perfect. 1 mana, 2/3 undead. Rush. Death Rattle, deal 4 damage to your hero. It's good early board control. It's like easily dumpable, small card. I mean, in aggro Demon Hunter, you just mark your opponent in the head and you don't really care that much about what they do, right? So this is like good 1-drop, I guess, because you don't care about your HP. Like, you don't really care, right? You just like take the damage. I mean, I guess this is like borderline playable, maybe. Maybe you play this, maybe you play this. Alright, I'm gonna move on to Mage. Demon Hunter doesn't look great at all. I don't think I'm gonna build anything there. Mage, Spectral Trainee. After you cast a spell, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. All enemy minions, 1 damage. But that's a lot. All enemy minions? Imagine if this went face, then it would be broken. And this works well with 1 and 0 mana spells, right? This is good in a board-centric meta, and it has the upside that there's also another undead, so it gives you more Vizier synergy. Doesn't work in Big Spell Mage, obviously. All enemy minions. I mean, all enemy minions is a lot. You just need like 2 spells played, and your opponent has no more board. What would you play this in? It doesn't really fit into aggro demon, aggro mage, right? It would fit in like the meme mage where you have the meme cards from the other classes. Like this fits really well into the meme deck, but because they have some trouble dealing with early boards. But other than that, I don't know. I'm gonna say this is a weaker card. 3 mana 4/3 Battlecry. If you've cast a spell last turn, discover an elemental. Okay, I'm gonna have to see what elementals there are in Mage. Wait, then it's just an elemental? And then there's all the neutral elementals as well? Ugh. 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 No, thank you. No. 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 Is there a reason why I would want to play this in my deck? Like, you play this Naga Mage together with Amalgam and you just discover back and forth. Alright, let's move on. 4 mana, Tear Reality. Add 2 random mage spells from the past to your hand. They cost 2 less. Okay, let's go mage spells. Dude, is it always Deck of Lunacy? Always 0 mana Deck of Lunacy? Deck of Lunacy? Incantus Flow, no thank you. Kabbalist Tome. Book. I mean, okay, you can't get the quests. I think you can't get the quests. You can get the side quests, which are obviously terrible. Evocation is not that bad. This card's terrible. This card's probably pretty funny. Deck of Lunacy probably pretty good for 0 mana. In a deck where you would play this. Incantus Flow probably kind of useless. Not gonna lie. Wait, can you get Ice Block? Can you get Ice Block? Do you think you can get Ice Block? Yes, is it confirmed that you can get Ice Block? Of course you can. Classic cards. Wait, I should have just sit and spell, right? I'm an idiot. I selected the wrong window. Oh, these are so much worse. Not standard? No, of course not. Spell. Or type. Spell. Alright, so you can get a Freezing Potion, which is bad. You can get Elemental Invocation, which is bad. You can get Forbidden Flame, that is bad. Shifting Scroll, that is bad. 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 Not that bad. Kind of bad. Pretty Cake W. Terrible. It's okay. Terrible. Probably terrible. 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 You probably don't want this either. You don't care for this as well. Complete garbage. Utter trash. Mega garbage. Super garbage. Giga garbage. Well, this gives you 2 mana back, so then at least you have 2 mana back. This one's kind of fine. 0 mana, deal 4. Cram Session probably unplayable. Deck of Lunacy is kind of funny. That's garbage. That you probably don't want. That card's actually fine. That's garbage. That's garbage. That's garbage. It's garbage. It's funny, but also garbage. Garbage, garbage, garbage. 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 This card's actually good. This card's actually good in a deck like that. Garbage. Turbo Ultra Omega Nuts. Garbage. 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 Trash. Garbage. 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 Actually, this card's fine. Garbage. Garbage. Trash. This card could be okay. I have the feeling I say the word garbage a lot. Any given card has 0.76 chance of coming up. Yeah, most of the cards are like complete and utter garbage. Like they're complete trash. Meteor might actually be fine, but you spent 4 mana on getting both of these cards. Like the only way that this stuff works is obviously in a deck where you play like the Ruman. Like you play cards that are randomly created. Grand Finale. Glacial Mysteries, don't even get me started. But sometimes you get a puzzle box. You know? And then you'll box some people. I don't know, guys. I feel like for 4 mana, getting 2 spells from the past, hoping to get an ice block, is questionable. Like, we can ice block, and then we can replay the ice block at some point with Grandmaster Romaneth, and then we can die the turn after, so that feels good. I have very little faith in this card, though. Anybody in chat that can convince me otherwise, that this card is not, like... Can anybody convince me that this card is playable? Dude, it costs 4 mana, that's so much. That is so much mana. Anybody want to take a shot at convincing me that this card's good? It'll be very strong on Rogue. I don't even think it'll be very strong on Rogue. Cost 4 mana, discount 4 mana. Yeah, but then you get like a 0 mana spell that doesn't do anything. Or you get like a 8 mana spell that doesn't do anything. And then you have one, for 4 mana, you got one random card that's reduced by 2 because the other one's unplayable. I mean, I don't think this will. This sometimes, I guess, gets randomly created. Sometimes the box plays this card, and then sometimes you get an ice block off the box, and then your opponent destroys their computer. So that's how that works. Like, this card just gets played off, like, off Rune of the Archmage, and then sometimes you get a box, and sometimes you get a, like, ice block, and then they throw their PC out the window. Yeet. Parks and Recreation style. Anyway, moving on. I don't think you put this in any of your decks. I don't think I want to put any of these Mage cards in any of my decks, so I don't think I care. Is this a buff for Hazy even? You play this, 1 mana, and then you get, like, I mean, I guess I guess it's a buff for Hazy and Miracle Rogue, because you get 2 cheap cards and you don't care if you're useless, because it's still cheap at that point. You're like, I didn't do nothing 3 times, but it's fine, because my Drakar weapon is now 3 bigger. 4 mana, destroy someone else's PC seems good. Becoming rank 1 legend 1 step at a time. Getting everybody else to quit the game. Forehead. Alright, I'm having way too much fun this. Alright, let's move on to warrior cards. Training session. Discover a taunt minion. If you play it this turn, repeat this. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna have to Google taunt minions. Taunt. You can't attack. There's a minion with taunt in the way. A minion is. You must attack the minion with taunt. Dude, we can play infinite Asvodons, because that thing has taunt now. How nutty is that? Infinite Asvodon. Whoo! Sheesh. Pack it up, guys. It's over. 4 mana Asvodon that comes with an extra card. No, not convinced yet? Okay. Oh. Yeah, about that. 6 mana, 3/8, Flesh Shaper, Taunt, Battlecry. If you have 5 or more armor, summon a copy of this. So the way that this works is you play Last Stand. You play Last Stand on 7. You draw this from your deck. You make this a 6/16. Right? And then on turn 8, you play Frozen Buckler. Because you don't have armor as a warrior. Because your opponent always hits you in the face. So you actually never have armor. You always need to gain it in the turn. And then you play Frozen Buckler for the 5 armor you really need. Okay? And then you drop 2 6/16s on the board. And then your opponent plays Scabs and you cry. But, I mean, that's beside the point. Alright? Or your druid opponent just, you know, eats us with their insatiable devourer. Your paladin opponent plays Equality. Your rogue opponent plays Deadly Cox. Your demon hunter opponent might care. Your mage just boxes you and then is like, what are you doing here? I don't care. What are you talking about? I don't understand the restriction on this card. 6 mana, 5, like 3/8, taunt, battlecry. If you have faith or more armor, summon a copy of this. Why is it just not a 6 mana, 3/8 taunt, summon a copy of this? Yeah, I mean, because it'd be broken, I guess. Maybe. Kind of. Would it be? Like, it would be power creep in what we had earlier. Like, this is obviously good with hand buffs. Like, I feel like it's so hard for you to have, like, 5 armor at the start of your turn. Is it not? I feel like it's really hard. I feel like this card is just unplayable. I'm talking way too long about it, right? I'm just talking way too long about something that's unplayable. Yep. Yeah. I mean, okay. Alright, 3 mana, 4/3, Mech Pirate. After a hero attacks, gain 4 armor and draw a card. Alright, that's what I call a Hearthstone card. Well, I mean, okay, this looks like a Hearthstone card to me. Now, this looks like a Hearthstone card. If you're here after your hero attacks, cast shield block. I mean, it's a good card, right? I mean, it's like a good card, but then we don't care because it's a warrior card. I think that's how that works. I think we just say that this is a nice card. I would put this in my arena deck, but they printed it in the wrong class. Why am I doing this? Why am I even discussing warrior cards every expansion? Why am I doing this? I don't understand. There's no point. Let's move on. Paladin. It's a buff for the 3-mana concoction. I mean, it's true though, dude. Like, warrior is just a presso. Like, I've actually, like, recently, I've went into warrior. I went into the, like, you go, okay, if you want instant depression, like depression in a cup, you go like, all right, today I'm gonna make a new deck, and then you're like, new deck, warrior, and then you're like, you click on this, and you're like, okay, like I could build in rage, but it's kind of boring, and then you're like, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know about this, but I guess it's okay. It's... That's a warrior deck building POV. Oh my god. The class is so dead. I don't even get to recover. I get the depression before I get there. Moving on. We're gonna go Paladin. Alright, let's do this one last, and let's do the other one first. 3 mana, Knight of the Dead. Battle card, deal 5 damage to your hero. Mana thirst 7, restore 5 health to your hero instead. It's an undead 5/5. Does this work well in aggro? That's the next card. That's the Knight of the Undead. Does this work well in aggro? I don't think I like it, honestly. I don't think I like the card. Okay, listen, hear me out. Hear me out. I think the reason why this doesn't work is because okay, I was gonna say this doesn't work because like on turn 6 you wanna get out your 7-drop and you take too much damage from this, and you'd rather play like other early game other than this, and the other 3-drops are just like kind of better. If you get to the mana thirst, this is really good, but this would kind of require your deck to like at that point. I don't really want to play this anymore. I feel like I don't think it's impactful enough for the game on turn 7 for this card to be like for me to want to play this card on turn 7. I don't think it's there. I don't think this card's gonna be great. It's an undead. Paladin doesn't really have undead, so it has some synergy with like menagerie stuff. But other than that, nah. I'm just gonna say nah and move on here. It's an undead for the Purator, I know. Anyway, moving on. 4 mana, 3/5, Goldwing. Rush Battlecry if you're holding a mech, gain a Wind Fury. 4 mana, 3/5, Rush. Gains a Wind Fury if I'm holding a mech. think this card is good. I think there's good mech synergies in Paladin. I don't think Mech Paladin will take off. I think Dragon Paladin is probably better. But I'm wondering, like, I feel like maybe this is another card you can slot into your Dragon Paladin, because the Wind Fury stuff is kind of crazy. Like, maybe this just goes in pure Paladin, because, like, if you're holding something with Wind Fury, it's pretty insane. Let me just see it all, like, what are the mechs in Paladin? Mech. This card is very good. This card is very good. This card is also very good. Like, Seafloor Servia is good. Mooncatcher is good. Leviathan is good. Like, I mean, the Bubble Bot is kind of like the... I don't know. I guess this card is also very good. It's just, like, not in the meta right now. Amalgams are, like, also in every mech deck. I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting. Ini Stormcall... By the way, you should remember, this card is very good if it hits, like, one target at least. Choose a friendly minion, summon a copy of it with Rush, Wind Fury, and Divine Shield. Like, if you can hit this on, like, a decently sized target, this is lots of stats on the board. Like, this card still isn't bad. Like, after all the changes we've done, this card still ain't bad. I'm, like, doubtful I would see enough play, but I think you could play your Dragon Paladin. Like, you could play a Dragon Paladin a little bit differently, where you just, like, you play, like, Seafloor Savior maybe as well. You probably don't play this, but you play, like, a Savior, you play Leviathan. We can just build it right now, for example. No, that's Priest. You take your Paladin, like your Kaz Paladin, maybe. There's probably also a way to build this more aggressively. But then you just kind of like, you take out your bad cards and you just put this in. So you take out the Warder, you take out the Viper, you take out the Biddle Vicar, and you take out the Bronze Explorer, and you play double Seafloor Savior and twice the new card. And I think there you go. Like, that's like already really good. Probably I would even take out Astalor and play... I mean, Astalor is good board control later. Like, maybe you don't cut Astalor. Maybe you cut something else. Maybe just cut Order in the Court. Fuck it. I don't care anymore. Maybe you just cut Order in the Court and just play the Purator as well. Actually, Purator doesn't work in this deck because you play Kaz, right? Yeah, you can't play Purator. Yeah, but then basically you just play this deck. I think that seems reasonable. Oops, sorry. Astalor. It's the other card that I cut. I think I cut something else by accident. Order. Yeah, I mean, like, this seems reasonable, right? It works well with the Time Warder and stuff like this. Like, Rush, Wind Fury, pretty good removal. The card becomes infinitely better if you buff it on Seafloor Savior or Alliance Bannerman as well. Like, just the whole, like, Rush cards buffed by Bannerman or Savior are just so much better. And a little bit more early game really wouldn't hurt this deck. And you really don't need another, like, the 5-drop's just, like, such super underwhelming. And honestly, this guy, the Lifesteal 3-drop, it's a very cute card. Everybody loves how cute it is, but it's like slightly underwhelming because you have enough other discoveries in your deck, so you don't really need it. You just kind of rush your Kazakhstan for most of the time. Would mech be in hand? Yeah, I think you just have Leviathan in hand often enough. It's a 7-drop. It just hangs around in your hand often enough. And you have double Amalgam, you have Leviathan, and you have Seafloor Savior, and then you have the Dragon itself, which I think should definitely be enough for this to work. 4 mana, 3/5 Rush, Wind Fury. I think this could be useful. I think the reason why this could be really useful is because the Rush cards are insanely good with Time Warder. Like, Time Warden into this curves really well. Purator doesn't work in this deck because you have neutral cards. You have Kazakuzan in here, you have Amber Whelps in here, you have Amalgam in here, you have Astalor in here. You cannot play the Purator in this. But we can look at the Purator now a little bit as well. Let's look at this. It's the last card we're gonna have a look at. Is the Purator. So 5 mana, 4/6 taunt. Battlecry. If your deck has no neutral cards, draw a minion of each minion type. Pretty interesting card. Pretty interesting card. Still need some old decks. Who cares? Okay, let's look at this. So this would go in a pure Paladin deck. And I think the Wind Fury guy is also pretty good in that deck. You don't really play any Max as of right now, is the issue. Just gonna build the current deck and then see what we're replacing. This card is Garbino in this deck, by the way. Wind Furious is super strong with a bunch of the Paladin buffs. I was thinking maybe you don't even play Order in the Court anymore. Because the reason why you don't play Order in the Court in that deck anymore is... Because... Okay, so if you look at the end of this, you come to Light Rays, and they're elemental beasts, right? So if you play the Purator, you will always, because you have no other elemental and no other beasts in your deck, you will always draw both of your Light Rays immediately. But if you play Order in the Court, you will already have drawn them. So there's a point in you not playing Order in the Court anymore, but like playing Purator. You won't be able to get through your... through to your counters as often, but it might still be good enough for you to just like for you to just draw differently. For example, the way that we could build this is let me think. Beep, 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 boop, beep. Do we like Carol in this deck? No, we don't. This card is actually just so good. We should maybe be playing this in our aggro deck too.